everybody. Welcome back to the Maybomb Perspective. I'm your host, John Cates, and am delighted today to have Kathryn Stone joining us. Welcome, Kathryn.
Thank you for having me.
This is exciting. This is our first time sort of doing a one-on-one, at least for me, with an agent here at Maybomb. And so each week we are going to be continuing to do these podcasts, and we're trying to get information out on the market and also a little background on some of our people. So Kathryn, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off with just maybe a little bit of background. Just tell us a little bit. I know you're obviously from Augusta, grew up in the area, but a little bit of how you got into real estate.
So born and raised, and I grew up primarily in Martinez, Georgia,
Okay.
Westlake specifically. And my mother has been, she's been selling real estate since the early 80s.
Right.
And so, most people know the story when EG started the company. She was one of the first agents. And so I just grew up around real estate my whole life. My mom, she was, she worked really hard. She was a big producer. And so I was just around it all the time, going from open houses and, getting to know all the realtors, all the old school realtors. I've just known them since I was little.
Right.
And it was just something that intrigued me.
Yeah.
And then more so as I got into college, and decided to get my real estate license when I was a freshman year.
Okay.
And I helped my mom during the summers, starting to kind of like get my feet wet. And then after I graduated, that's when I dove right in.
Gotcha. Okay. Tell us a little bit about what that was like growing up in a real estate home. I know you mentioned going to open houses.
Yeah.
Tell us that. And then also maybe some of the things that you learned from your mom that you've, tried to incorporate in your own business.
The things that she taught me the most that I think still resonates with me today is that prepping houses, being in the forefront, in front of your clients more so than behind the scenes, I suppose.
Okay.
So like when she would have a house showing on a property and maybe let's just say the clients were out of town and the beds weren't made.
Okay.
And there might be some dirty dishes in the sink. My mom was like, don't worry, I got you. I'll go over there. I'll make your beds. I'll clean up the dishes. No big deal. Because just having a house present itself well gives them the best chance of getting the house sold and then also getting the most money. So my mom was just very hands-on.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like sometimes like I was in high school and maybe like the sellers forgot to clean the house before closing. Or my mom and I, she'd like grab the vacuum cleaner, get a broom, throw it in the car. We're going to go clean a house. I was like, okay, mom.
Right.
We just used to do some crazy things back in the day. And for example, yesterday I was in Nob Hill.
Okay.
I have a house for sale that's vacant, elderly owner, and there are these stair treads that are on the stairs that are like coming off and disintegrating.
Okay.
So I took my little plastic razor shovel. I took a bag. I took some, Murphy's soap oil, and I went and scraped off all those stair treads and got rid of them. They look like brand new now.
Yeah.
So they're just some things you do.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just some personal touches that I don't think every realtor is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. And I know, just from personal experience, those things are just so important, and that, nobody really asks you to do those things, but you just know they need to get done, and you're going to go get them done.
I was like, they could do this if they were a little bit younger, and I hate for them to pay someone to go do that. I was like, no big deal. I've got 2 hours in the morning. I can go handle it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, another thing I always respected about your mom and respect about you is there really only seems to be a handful of agents that work both Richmond and Columbia County well, that seem to do a good bit of business in both. And obviously there are some people that, may do one or two every now and then, but there's really only seems to be a handful of agents that do a good bit of business in both.
Yeah.
What are some of the differences and even similarities of selling, say, a luxury house in Westlake versus selling a luxury house on the Hill?
Biggest difference, which I think may be daunting to some realtors and especially some buyers, is that, the houses on the Hill, I mean, some of them date back to like the late 1800s.
Right.
So trying to handle a property like that versus a house built in the 90s, let's say, over in Rhodes Hill, they're totally two different animals. You just, I live in an old home, but I grew up in a house built in the 90s.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like I personally am very aware of how both of those types of animals go.
Yeah.
But I think trying to understand to market and to what it called like an inspection on an old home.
Yeah. Okay.
We got knob and tube wiring, we got
Hmm.
asbestos, we've got floors that are uneven, and like, is there a structural problem, or is this house fine? It's standed the test of time.
Right.
So trying to sell a property like that can just be it's a little bit more work, but I think the knowledge is what makes the difference.
Got it. Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the market right now. Is there anything interesting that you're seeing or have seen over the last few months? Do you think things are busier, slower? And also maybe what's some of the feedback that you're getting from buyers and sellers right now?
So from my perspective, obviously this is my opinion only, but I saw a major slowdown in August of 2025,
Hmm.
and it was just a slow last half of the year.
Yeah.
Not a ton of listings, not a ton of great listings, and buyers just really didn't feel a sense of urgency.
Okay.
As we've turned a corner with the new year, I have my buyer pool has probably doubled,
Wow. Okay.
which is interesting. I've been getting a lot of phone
Hmm.
calls, and most of my conversations go like, "Hey, Kathryn, we want to be in a house by, say, summer." And
Uh-huh.
so I've got a ton of buyers right now that are looking,
Yeah.
watching,
Okay.
but they're also standing back. And so I think over the next 6 months, we're going to see a lot of growth.
Okay.
But I really hope that we can see better inventory
Yeah.
with houses that just, where the areas that I typically work. I just would love to see some more options come available in West Augusta.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's been really slow as well in Columbia County. So
Mm.
I just hope that the inventory grows, because I listened to your last podcast,
Thank you.
and you were talking about how our inventory is back to normal.
Hmm.
But I feel like we don't have a ton of great options. I don't really know how to describe the difference
Yeah.
between that,
Yeah.
but there's just not a lot of houses that make my buyers jump off the line,
Got it.
say,
Okay.
"Hey, let's go for this house. I want it."
Hmm.
I think everything you could tell me better, but the
Sure.
inventory on the ground are days on market more than normal.
Yeah.
So I think that is an indicator of that a lot of the houses for sale currently aren't ones that get buyers excited.
Yeah, and that's a great point because I think that part of the increase in inventory is a result of those buyers being a little more
Hmm.
uh, taking their time,
Great.
and obviously as that happens, more and more homes come on the market. But that's a really good point, especially in the luxury world, because what we see is luxury is sort of the last thing to go and sort of the first
Hmm.
thing to go, and so that's sort of a tail at least in terms of the economy. So hopefully we'll start to see more luxury listings as the market sort of comes back a little bit.
Yeah, I've got some great ones coming up in my pipeline. Obviously, a lot of them want to capture that master's rental in
Yeah,
April and then go
yeah,
to market. So I'm telling everyone, I really feel, fingers crossed, that come about mid March, we're going to see things gear up again. I think
okay,
2026 is going to be better than 2025.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Talking a little bit about master's rental, I know that's always a big topic in our local market. Um, what are some of the things that you've seen people doing in terms of renovating or when they're looking to purchase that makes that house more appealing for a master's rental?
So location, obviously, number one, which is number one for everything.
Right.
That's something you can't recreate. But also, you hear this all the time. Like, you want a bathroom per every bedroom.
Okay.
But then what I think also makes a house unique or special is, you know, what it, when you walk onto this property,
Mm.
does it like kind of feel, say, magical is kind of,
Yeah.
but like, there are so many houses that are the same, and very similar, same floor plans, same lot lines, blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
does it have like beautiful landscaping? Does it
Mm.
have beautiful porches, entertaining space?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, well, this house has a pool. It'll probably pull more money for masters." I said, "I don't really know any renter that gets in a pool at a house for
In April.
masters."
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I don't think that is what they're going for. I
That's
think
interesting.
it's
Yeah.
like special areas in a house? Is there like a cool room with like a bar? Like, is there a cool outdoor pavilion?
Places people want to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they're not in their rooms that often. Think about when you go to a hotel,
Sure.
you sleep in your room, you leave the room.
Yeah.
So, what are the spaces in the house that make it interesting and different?
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think, not that you are crazy not to capitalize on it, but we
Yeah.
personally, we love Masters Week. We think that's just
Yeah.
a great addition to owning a home in Augusta.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Switching gears just a little bit, you obviously mentioned growing up in a real estate home with a mom that was working odd hours. Obviously married to Rob. You guys have got 2 kids. Talk a little bit about what it's like being a working mom in the real estate business. How do you guys make that work? What are some of the challenges, and how do you guys overcome those?
So I guess it was maybe 4 years ago. Rob, I like to say that he retired, but he took a step back from the law world.
Yep. Yep.
And he stays at home with our children. So
Okay.
I think if he wasn't at home with our kids, I don't know how we would make it work.
Yeah.
But he runs the house. He, keeps the kids on schedule. And with my hours, I tend to enjoy the mornings a lot more with my children.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I love to do drop off in the morning, or like, Rob will say, we'll take William, our oldest, who's 4, to preschool,
Okay.
and I'll stay back with the baby who's now 7 months old.
Yeah.
Enjoy that time with her. And then I usually always try to be home by 5:30 to do dinner and bedtime.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll come home, help with that, and then maybe I'll go to like a late appointment at like say 7:00, 6:30. Because a lot of people want to meet after their business hours.
Got it. Yeah.
So, it's the calendar rules the house.
Yeah.
And I try to just be more cognizant of the kids and what's important with our family. And then Rob will always be there to help me when I need to be out late at night.
Gotcha.
Which
Okay.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's good.
it's a little unconventional.
Yeah. Yeah. But you guys make it work.
We do.
Yeah. That's good. What do you guys like to do for fun outside of work? Do you guys like to travel? I know you guys sail, and you went on a great trip not too long ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
We did. My husband, before he went to law school, he was a sailboat captain.
Okay.
That's what he did for a living.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Where did he do that?
In Beaufort, North Carolina.
Okay. Okay.
So he ran a sailboat charter. So he's been working on me for years. He has been wanting to go to the BVI's, rent a sailboat, and I finally said yes with one caveat. It had to be a power cat.
Okay. What does that mean?
It is a catamaran without a sail. It's got a motor.
Got it. Okay.
Because at the time, Caroline was 4 months old, and I was just,
oh my gosh,
I was like, I don't know if I can have you on a boat doing the sailing thing, and then me with a toddler and a 4-month-old. It just made me a little nervous. I said, I'll go, but let's do the power cat. But I can guarantee you he's gonna say, let's go do the sailing. Yeah. Sailing portion coming up. So, but yeah, besides that, we love to travel.
Yeah.
I like to play tennis when I have time.
Yeah. Okay.
And just, we're kind of a homebody. Yeah. If I'm not working, I'm usually at home.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, especially with a young one, 2 young ones, but one especially that's 7 months. That I remember that stage of life. It is hard to
2 naps a day.
Yes.
You know, and all the bottle feeding. So maybe in a few years we'll get out of the house more often.
Well, that's good. I know now because our boys are 11 and 8. You're a lot more mobile, but at the same time, you miss those days of, especially when it's cold outside and you kind of just want to hang out. Yeah. And
what we'll be doing this weekend.
That's right. That's right. That's great. All right. Well, we talked a little bit about your personal life, your home marriage. Let's talk a little bit about the work relationship. You've been working with Cherie for a long time. Tell us a little bit about that relationship, how you guys work together, because it's always been amazing to me that you guys are able to do the number of transactions that you do, the volume that you do with really just 2 people. So talk a little bit about how that works, what she does on your team, and how you guys sort of work together.
So I probably have to ask Cherie this. I don't know what year she started with this. I feel like she's been with my mother and I don't know, like 30. It feels like 30 years. I mean, it's been a long time. Right. Cherie has known me since I was little. Right. And so she's a licensed realtor. She pretty much just runs the office. Okay. I will ask her occasionally to, fill in for me here and there. But she prefers to be at the office, kind of at the desk. Right. Okay. But she handles all my paperwork. She watches my emails like a hawk. she I was out of town this past Friday and she did a tour for me for a candidate.
Right.
So she can do everything that I can do, which is wonderful because it gives me a little bit of reprieve when I can't always be somewhere or be places at one time.
Right. Okay.
And the thing that I love the most about her that, is irreplaceable is she always knows what I'm thinking.
Got it. Okay. Y'all worked together for so long.
She knows where my brain's at. She knows how I like things. She is just so responsive. She's polite. She's, very, she can talk on the phone to anybody. She can talk to, a $2 million client. She can talk to a $100,000 client. She's she's wonderful. I say better things about her.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So, speaking of real estate, I know you've been in real estate a long time, got your license, like you said, in college. So for those out there listening that are either thinking about a career in real estate or have recently gotten their license, what is some advice that you would give to sort of a newer agent to ultimately be successful?
My best advice is be patient with it. I remember when I was younger, I guess I was 22 or 23 when I first started full time. I remember my mom told me, she was like, it takes a while to get on your own two feet.
Okay.
Because I look at real estate as like a train.
Okay.
Like the train always needs to be moving. And so like I'm always looking 3 months ahead, really, because, our transactions kind of work in 30, 60, 90 days.
Right.
It's like I always like the train to be moving. And when the train is not moving, I get really like, oh my gosh, like where's the next deal?
Yeah.
When are the next closings?
Yeah.
And so it just takes a while to get that train going.
Okay.
And so, it's a little nerve wracking because it's commission based. Like if you don't work, you don't make money.
Yeah.
People would always ask me like, are you taking a maternity leave? I'm like, well, probably not. Because, we're
train isn't going to move.
Yeah. We're a single income family and like that.
Yeah.
And so that's, again, that's where Rob is just, the most wonderful thing in the world to support me in that capacity. But just be patient. It'll get going, get your network. And once the train starts moving, it's actually kind of invigorating and like it makes you want to work more because you can see the pipeline and what's to come, and being able to earn your own money, make your own keep is, a powerful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. What are some of and I know you mentioned a few, but for those of folks out there that maybe have a hard time keeping the train moving, I always say that it's hard for agents because you sort of live in this world of providing great service to your current clients and getting them to the closing table.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're always out there prospecting, working on duty. So you have one foot sort of in each world of current transactions and future transactions. How do you balance that, providing great service for your current folks while continuing to prospect and work on new things?
Great question. Because I always say to myself, like, I work so closely with clients for, could be from 2 months to 6 months trying to find a house. We get to the closing, hug, kisses. This is so exciting. Then they go on their merry way and move into the house. And it's like, oh man, I haven't talked to them. Like a year will go by. And I'm like, I've got to call them.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how life can be. And then trying to also keep up with, I hear so-and-so is having a baby or getting married. Like I need to make sure like I have all my touch points to make sure that, I don't forget somebody and they don't forget me.
Yeah.
And the world is so busy today, but I think with social media and that ease of connectivity, I think just keeping those up and always like keeping your face out there.
Yeah.
When you're at the grocery store and you see someone, say hi.
Yeah.
Just
so easy to kind of put your head down and get your stuff because you got to get back home.
Pull your baseball cap down, like,
right.
Oh gosh, I'm an exercise clothes at the grocery store. But I think just people really resonate with face-to-face talking. So like if you're just anywhere out, just always say hi.
Yeah.
I think just trying to be personable and approachable is the best thing to probably do.
Yeah.
And that's easy. It's like, hey, how are the kids?
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah. That's great. I know you mentioned social media. You've obviously got a great social media presence, and
I try.
I know that it's a mixture of some personal stuff, but also showing homes and showing people what's on the market. You obviously got into the real estate business kind of as social media was starting, and have sort of seen the rise of that. what are some of the social media tips that you maybe have for folks out there that are in the real estate business?
I used to do my own videos. So if you
Okay.
go back in my social media, you'll see when I used to do it.
Right.
Now I have someone that helps me, and they're amazing. But what I've noticed is that obviously I can show houses I closed. This is how many we sold last year, or this
Yeah.
house is for sale. But I think what my social media girls tell me, and I also see this as well, is people love to see more of my personal life and what I'm
Yeah.
up to. I think when you're picking a realtor to work with, it's like, when you build with a builder, you're going to be with me for a certain period of time, and you want to know about me. And I
Right.
want to know about you because I ask
Yeah.
you so many personal questions when we meet each other. But I think knowing who your realtor is, making sure that you jive, you have, like-minded things. I think that is something that's important to buyers and
Okay.
also sellers. Like
Yeah.
you want to know, like, what am I about?
Right. Right.
What are my ways? What's my personality like? Because
Yeah.
we're going to be together for a while. We're
Right.
going to be looking at houses.
Yeah.
So I think that showing your true colors and who you are, I think is important. I think
Yeah.
people want to see it.
Yeah. That's great. All right. We got time for one sort of final question.
Okay.
Hopefully this has been painless so far.
A little nervous at first, but I'm good now.
Good. Okay. It'll take sometimes a little bit of time to settle in. The last thing is, one of the things that I've always admired about you in particular as an agent, and I think one of the things that's made you so successful is your ability to what I'll call match make, which is, especially since inventory has been low, at least the last 5 to 6 years. And you work in a lot of kind of unique markets with unique homes, and you've got buyers that kind of want a very specific thing that there may not be a ton out there for them.
Right.
How do you sort of put those people together? Because it seems like you're able to find things that maybe aren't for sale yet and have a buyer in mind that that's a good fit for.
Right.
That's a real skill. And I think it's something that a lot of people sort of on the outside maybe don't have a full appreciation for. Talk a little bit about matchmaking and how long that takes and sort of what are the things that you do to be able to do that successfully?
So I think one thing that really helps me, and it's just longevity in Augusta. My mother sold houses forever, and so I have been in and out of a lot of houses.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen a lot of pictures of houses, and I've lived in both counties. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I know all the roads, I know all the neighborhoods. So if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, this is the neighborhood I want. This is the type of house we're looking for," I can usually kind of be like, "Okay, these would be the streets we'd go for." And people all the time, like I'll be at a party, they might, say, "Hey, just if you have a buyer looking, we would be interested in selling."
Got it.
And
Okay.
I'll just like put that in my head and
Yeah.
say, "Okay."
Sort of plant the seed.
And
Yeah.
like one of my favorite stories is I had a newlywed couple, and the wife wasn't from here, and I put her in my car one day. We
Okay.
drove the streets, and
Mm.
she would point at houses that she liked. And one day we were driving down this one street, and she goes, "I love that house." And I'm like, "I know she'll sell." So I called
Yeah.
her best friend, who was a realtor,
Okay.
and I said, "I got a buyer for this house."
Mm.
We looked at it. She named a price. We said yes. We rocked and rolled.
Yeah.
And then like another fun one was I had a buyer that was renting in Ironwood down in Hammond's Ferry.
Yeah. Okay.
They loved one of my houses in Rhodes Farm. Yes, Rhodes Farm. And the funniest thing, that seller took over her lease in Ironwood, and she bought his house in Rhodes Farm. They
You
swapped.
swapped. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
A Rhodes Farm house to
Yeah.
an apartment. And when I can line the dominoes up like that,
Mhm.
that is like when I get so giddy and excited about
Yeah.
real estate. I'm like, that was fun.
Yeah.
And like everyone is so happy and so excited.
Right.
So when I can match make like that, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Like the stars align and
It's awesome.
everyone's just, happy, which is what
Yeah.
they should be at closing.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, that's great. And that's kind of what we'll end on. I know a lot of people talk to me about technology and they talk about AI and I think for like 20 years now you've heard, well, oh, this new software, or this new company is going to bring about the end of the real estate agent. But a lot of what you've described, and particularly the matchmaking,
yeah,
there's that human relationship element that is just never going to go away.
right.
And so I think that that's what makes somebody like you so successful and And also, I think gives a lot of glimpse to folks on the outside, not in real estate, as to what makes a real estate agent so important. And not only now, but going forward in the future.
Yeah. If you're not from here and you don't know where to begin, you need someone that you can trust. I won't
Yeah.
sell you a house that that I wouldn't buy.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I tell people. I'm like, you tell me what you want. I'll make sure we find the right fit.
Yeah. Perfect.
So.
All right. Kathryn, thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
joining us.
Yep.
Absolutely. We'll have to do it again soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks.